God.
Can you now fix the webcam? Because it's like I'm not in. Hi.
That's it. That's the start of the episode. That is absolutely staying in.
I just attacked it.
All right.
You're like shifted to the left slightly. Just.
All right. Good afternoon and welcome to the ZeroFunction podcast. I am your host, Lee. With me is Conall and Jen.
That's me.
And if you're listening to this on audio for some reason, you're going to want to go and just watch the video, at least for the intro, because wow.
Yeah. Oh, that was
I am Butterfingers.
A little bit, yeah.
Honestly, yeah.
All right. Okay.
You're fucking lager.
Leave me alone.
God damn it. It is 2 o'clock on a Monday afternoon, and he's already drinking, folks.
If it's past 12, it's fine.
Debatable.
Oh yeah, it's Monday. I had work today, like most people, so I'm still pretty like tired and just there from the day.
I have the week off, which is...
You just woke up.
I don't work Mondays.
Yeah, like an hour ago.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm good.
Fun.
Hey, I got camera ready though, so...
True, very
Yeah.
true. I literally just came straight after work and I was like, this is just how I am now. Like,
This is how it is.
Yeah.
Jeez. All right, so we are back with John Wayne Gacy, part 3.
final part?
No.
Doubt.
No, we're only about halfway through.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, I'll try and get through this as quickly as we can.
Yeah, halfway.
But yeah.
Jesus.
All right, so on the previous episode, we covered his first forays into murder and his divorce with his wife.
Yep.
Some other incidents, and the beginning of the clowning.
Right. Didn't he have... We went over like a few victims, didn't we?
We did. We went over his...
3 of them, I think.
We went over his...
Yes, in other words, a few.
His first... Yeah, so we covered his first accidental victim, Timothy McCoy.
Right.
His second unnamed victim, and his third victim, John Butkovich.
I'm sorry.
Did not comprehend that at 3 was a few.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Honestly, I didn't. I thought you were just kind of like ballparking, like, oh, a few. And I'm like, yeah, 3.
No, I know what English is.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh man. But yeah, the accidental victim. I mean, if you haven't seen that one, go make sure to check out the other parts because that was a doozy.
Yeah, it was the end of part 2.
Yeah, and then
sort of.
his clown personas of Patches and
Pogo.
Pogo. That's it.
Pogo. Yeah. So yeah, those are two main... those were the two clown personas that he used throughout his career as a clown. Yeah, so if you remember, we covered... Oh boy, where am I? We did, McCoy, unnamed second victim, and Butkovich. We went over the dissolving of Gacy's marriage, where he divorced his wife, and she took her 2 daughters and left.
Yep.
He's hired 15-year-old Anthony Antonucci, who will pop up again later on. He's the one who managed to get out of the handcuffs and get them on Gacy, if you remember.
And then just kind of left.
Yeah, pretty much.
Didn't even call the cops or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. He gets divorced. He picks up David Cram hitchhiking, offers him a job. Cram moves in. There's the incident where he attempts to rape Cram. And then Cram moves out. Michael Rossi moves in.
Like a month later.
Yeah. Then Michael Rossi moves in, who also works for Gacy's contracting business. And Rossi is the one who sometimes assists Gacy with clowning as Patches.
Alright, yeah.
So, yeah.
I just need to grab this.
What was that?
I'm the holder of the cup now.
Nice.
Cup now. I don't know what you wanted from me.
All right.
Table.
Table. Rude.
So, yeah, the divorce happens after the John Butkovich murder. And Carol and her daughters move out of the house in February of 1976.
Cool.
And their divorce was finalised on March 2nd. And this is where it starts to accelerate.
It really takes off.
Yeah, 1976 is when Gacy starts going ham on the boy murder. Just-
on the point.
Just so much boy murder, which is going to be the title of this episode.
76, the year of boy murder.
Yeah.
Epic.
Yeah, years of boy murder. Yeah.
Well, remember we were saying that there were 33 known victims?
Yes.
Yeah, and we were saying like in that, 10 years or whatever, it has to be X amount of people.
Well, it's not. It was like 7. Was that just me fucking...
Yeah, no, yeah.
It was something like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we were
Yeah.
saying like, at least X, Y, and Z murders per year, but the first, couple years, he only killed like 1 or 2. So it's even
Yeah,
less than that.
so
There's like, he had at least like
Yeah,
10 to 15.
Yeah, it was at least 33 young men and boys, and McCoy was killed in 1972, and by the end of 1975, he had killed that second unidentified victim and John Butkovich.
Right.
And then 76 through 78 was when he did like pretty much all of
90%
his
them, yeah.
like 30 known
Damn.
murders in 2 years.
Shit.
Yeah. So
Strap on in.
are you ready, kids?
That is more than one. That's more
I
than,
don't know, Captain.
that's more than 1 month. Like
One
one
murder
murder,
a month,
a month.
yeah.
That is fucking mental.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So, right. Let's go.
Let's
I'm ready.
get it.
Let's get it. Let's get it.
That was too positive. I didn't like that.
Clown Man into the boy murder.
Boy murder.
Well, you shouldn't say into the boys.
Hey,
No.
watch it.
I mean,
Dodgy.
this is Gacy we're talking about.
That's true.
All right, so
Gay.
wait, when was that? Okay, right, here we go. So, 1 month after his divorce was finalised, April 6th, Gacy abducts and murders 18-year-old Daryl Sampson. He was buried under the dining room, and they found a section of cloth lodged in his throat.
Yes.
Yes.
Because that was
Once again.
Gacy's little trick. Do you want to call it like his little?
Well, there was like a part of what he did to stop the like bodily fluids leaking out, because you
Yeah.
remember with John Butkovich, he stored him in the closet until he could bury him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the was it Butkovich or was it?
One of them.
I don't know. Either
Oh, boy.
way, he found out
Yeah.
shit comes
No,
out.
it was the second murder, second unidentified murder. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, he didn't want the bodily fluids leaking out of the nose and mouth, like, and staining the carpet. So
Yep.
yeah, that's where he started to do the stuffing the mouths and stuffing the throats with scraps of cloth. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So April 6th, Daryl Sampson disappeared. May 14th, roughly 5 weeks later, we see the disappearance of 15-year-old Randall Reffett, who was walking home from high school, and only a few hours after that, 14-year-old Samuel Stapleton. He was walking home from his sister's apartment.
What? Just
That-
so he just happened to see these kids walking alone. Was like, "You're next."
Yeah, like, hey kids, I'll
You.
give you a ride home. And remember, this is the 70s. People were far more trusting back then.
Nobody should get in cars with people.
Yeah, no, do not ever get in strangers' cars. This is why you do not get in a stranger's car.
What is the 14-year-old doing walking alone at night? Is what I'm saying.
Hey, 14. That's not that.
I mean, it wasn't really at night.
A lot. Did you not say at night?
I didn't say the time, but
Oh,
I'd imagine it'd be like
yeah.
late afternoon.
Yeah.
I mean, he was walking home from his sister's apartment, so
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So 14 isn't that young. It is young. but
Why
it's, like,
wasn't
not
his
that
sister
young.
walking him back?
I mean, I was walking home from school at like 11, even younger than that actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, just what?
We always
Actually,
walked home
like,
pretty much.
I saw this kid get off the school bus, like rural school bus, as we were driving up to Hamilton. So it would have been out like way past Waitrose ways, like pretty countryside bitch.
Yeah.
She looked like
Yeah.
6,
Yeah.
and she was just like you know those kids whose school bags are almost as big as them.
yeah.
Like that's the sort of petite, like little blonde girl,
Ah.
and she was just walking across the highway, and I was like, "What the hell?" And then I saw
Yeah.
the school bus like further up, and I was just like, "Still."
Yeah,
Like there
it's
were
still a
no
bit
houses.
dodgy.
Yeah, there were no houses in sight. So she would have been like walking like a little ways up the road to like get to her house or whatever. And I was just like,
Yeah. That's just how it be sometimes.
that's how it be.
Yeah. So these two teenagers were buried together in the crawl space, and the investigators are pretty sure that both of them were killed the same evening.
Yeah.
Yeah. So on June...
Busy day.
yeah, a little bit. June 3rd, 17-year-old Michael Bonin from Lakeview. He was travelling from Chicago to Waukegan.
I forgot to say
don't know where that is.
Westminster for some reason. I don't know why that was in my brain.
No, we are in...
I've been watching a lot of QI and Would I Lie to You, so
No.
a lot of British humour.
we're in Chicago, not London.
Sorry, it's
London, yeah.
brain on
Yeah,
the
yeah.
wrong page.
London. What?
You were born there, weren't you?
Hey? Yes, I was born in Ealing Hospital.
London.
Yeah.
Well, the more you know.
He's foreign.
Yeah.
I am.
Exotic.
I'm an alien. I'm a legal alien.
I would hope not.
Alien.
Yeah,
That's why he likes all the
I love Steve.
extraterrestrial
Man.
episodes and things like that.
possibly.
Maybe it is.
You'll never know.
Oh, shit.
I'll never
I'm in
tell.
danger.
Yeah, I know, that was weird. Yeah, so Bonin was strangled with a ligature, a garrote wire, and buried under the spare bedroom. Then 16-year-old William Carroll disappeared on June 13th. He was buried somewhere in the crawl space. Yeah.
So just for clarification, they're all boys.
Yes.
All of them. Not
Yes.
a single...
Yes. All teenagers and young men. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. No female victims whatsoever.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Not even accidentally, just...
Yeah.
Pretty much. During this time, there was also one unidentified victim who the investigators believed to be an adult, but we don't know for sure. July 26th, 18-year-old David Cram was picked up hitchhiking, and that's the guy who moved in with him. So that's when that happened.
Ah, right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just a quick point. I feel so sorry for the unidentified or unnamed victims. That's awful things happen to you, and they just don't know who you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, a little bit.
Just sucks a tiny bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, some of these victims, Gacy didn't actually remember who they were. It was only through dental records that they were able to identify them.
Right.
Shit. And
Yeah.
he's like, oh yeah, that one.
Well, yeah, because it seems like he's just picking up random people. He just
Yeah.
sees them. He's like,
Yeah,
you.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they introduce themselves to each other, but it's not really something that he needs.
If you're about to
remember.
kill someone, yeah, you're not really taking their name and age and whatever into account. You're just
Yeah. So a lot of dental records, very early DNA profiling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if they had that.
Yeah, so he's
at
pretty
this
much
point.
not really going after people associated with him, except in the start there, sort of, it seems.
Yeah. I mean, what the difference between serial killers and just general one-off murders is that a lot of murders tend to be committed by people close to the victim,
Right,
like family members, close friends, that kind of thing.
Yeah, apparently, if you're gonna be murdered, 80% of the time it's someone you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I was like, okay.
Yeah, serial killers are different because they do tend to kill just randomly, people they don't know, which is why they are so hard to catch.
Yeah.
Or at
Also
least they used to be.
Because you could be the target just because.
Yeah.
Because they
Apparently,
feel
you
like
walk
it.
past a murderer 40-something times in your life. You will walk past someone who has killed someone.
I mean,
There's a lot of
in,
murders
in
the world.
America, I would believe that.
Yeah.
Maybe not
I
here,
think we're
though.
all
It'd
right.
be very
Yeah.
unlikely here.
It's,
Yeah.
it's probably
Maybe,
an American stat, but yeah.
Maybe more less than 10, I would say. here.
Honestly, yeah.
Unless you're in
in your
Auckland,
lifetime.
maybe.
Yeah.
Wellington, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
New Zealand's cool. We safe.
Yeah,
For the most part,
we got it
yeah.
pretty good. Yeah, so where did we get to? David Cram. Okay, so then on August 5th, 16-year-old James Harkinson from Minnesota, he phoned his family on August 5th, possibly from Gacy's home.
Yeah.
And he was killed by suffocation. And he was buried next to 17-year-old Rick Johnston, who was last seen on August 6th, which was the day after. Yeah. And then at this point, this is when Cram moves in on August 21st. And then August 22nd is the incident with the handcuffs.
Mm-hmm.
And then he moves out on October 5th. Which
So he doesn't
there's-
report anything. He's just
So there's
No.
at least 6-7 people under that crawl space during that incident.
and this guy doesn't suspect a thing.
Oh my god.
Well, no, he must have suspected something. He's just like, I don't want to be involved.
well,
You see, I feel maybe he knew there was something bigger to this, so he was like, you
He's
know
like,
what?
I don't want to fuck with this.
Yeah.
I may end up in the ground if I do.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's possible. Because like Gacy did make that threat to him. What do you say? Yeah, that's right. When he appeared at fucking Porky Pig over here. Yeah, when he went to Cram's bedroom, he said to him, "Dave, you really don't know who I am. Maybe it would be good if you give me what I want." So it's possible that he was like, "Nope, not messing with us. Just getting out, not saying anything."
Didn't he also say something with the handcuffs? Like,
Gacy, I think Gacy, Gacy attempted to.
No, but like after he'd handcuffed Gacy, didn't he say something about
Yeah,
letting me
he
go?
said something weird.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't Cram who did that. It was Antonucci who got Gacy.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm very confused. There's so many names and so many dates. It gets so confusing. I'm just like...
Okay, so Anthony Antonucci was one of his workers who...
so the one they went down to Atlanta or whatever?
No, that was different.
No, okay.
No, that was an unnamed employee
who beat the shit out of him
and then left. Yeah, it was Florida.
Right. Florida, sorry.
Yep. That employee does not show up again. Antonucci was the guy who he worked for him, and then Gacy tried to do the handcuff trick on him, but he overpowered him and got the handcuffs on Gacy.
Right.
Yep. And then Cram was the guy who lived with him for a while, and then Gacy did the handcuffs to him. Then Cram managed to free himself, and then moved out later. And then
imagine freeing yourself in handcuffs. You just like break your hand, just like dislocate your fingers or something. Like I
think you have to. I think you dislocate your thumb to get out of it.
I don't know. I think
he
just
like pop it in.
Well, I think he just got the key off of Gacy because it says he kicked him in the face.
He's the one that got handcuffed in the front.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gacy's like swinging him around by the chain.
Yeah, he'd have the capability to still get it.
Yeah.
Although hard, he'd still be able to do it.
Yeah.
Just give him the
Yeah.
the overhead.
But generally, I think to like get out of handcuffs, I think you dislocate your thumb.
I mean, I would assume that he like managed to get the key from Gacy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Could you imagine being in that situation? You know, like is it Saw in those the game?
Yeah.
One play game?
Yeah.
Like nah, just kill me. Like honestly, at that point, rather not.
Also, who would ever let somebody like trap them? Handcuffs on them, or just in some way.
Yeah, it's just
restrain you.
Yeah, or restrain you.
If someone's like, "Hey, I want to show you this trick, but it requires me to do this first," I'd be like, "Nah, boy, nah."
Yeah, no handcuffs. Thank
Yeah.
you. Yeah. So not long after Cram moves out, that's when Michael Rossi moves in. He's an 18-year-old. He had been working for PDM contractors since about May. So it's 5 months, something like that. So he moves in, and he lives with Gacy pretty much up until Gacy is caught. Yeah, and we'll see that he gives testimony later on to the investigators as well.
Right.
Okay, hold up.
Yes.
So he lives with Gacy pretty much until he's caught.
Yeah.
We're only up to like murder 11 or 12, 10.
Somewhere in that range, yeah.
Yeah, that's a bit.
How does he murder 20 people with someone living there?
I don't know.
I don't know, but he did it.
I can barely walk around my house without someone being like, "Do you have to be so fucking loud?" Like, what?
How am I supposed to open this?
Use your table.
Use my table?
Is it not a twist top?
No. I don't want to damage my table.
Do you have a bottle opener?
For audio listeners, Conall is opening another beer.
No, I wouldn't do that. I
Do
know
you
people
have a bottle
can
opener?
Oh my god.
Do you have a knife?
What the fuck?
Is that not a multi-tool on your desk?
Fuck am I gonna do with
Look
a
at that. Look
Pop it
look
open.
the blue pocket
It doesn't have a thing in it.
Well, then what's the use of it?
Cutting things. That sounds.
Do you have a knife?
Nice.
Just use the knife.
All right. So.
Why do you have a knife?
Oh Jesus! There's more than one.
Okay, when I said
How many blades do you have in that drawer?
That's a lot bigger knife than
I can see at least like 4.
No, okay.
Oh my god!
Tips
Holy
and tricks.
shit. How did I not know about this?
Do not cut yourself, please.
Oh, she's got it. There is
That's
beer
fine. It's
everywhere.
open. I'll take that.
Jesus. You see what I have to live with? Oh my god. Yeah, I'm looking at the bottom drawer of his dresser, and like I can see at least 4 knives, like big knives, like hunting knives and combat knives in that drawer. That is what is the blade on that thing? It was like a cleaver.
Do you want to see the other one, the other big one?
You know what?
Well, they're illegal. I don't take them outside.
Yeah, and let's just see. Oh my god, it's a copus. Okay, the sheath got me a lot more concerned than I should have been. Yeah, like it looks like a freaking.
There's only like 2 more in there.
Oh my god.
And that, but that's it.
Oh.
How have you never opened a beer bottle with a knife?
I don't generally find myself holding knives. I may have knives, but I don't carry them around like an American or something.
I like how you
True.
pronounce it with an F.
That's what I was about to say
weird.
too.
What do you mean with an F?
Knives.
Knives.
It's knives.
Knives.
Yeah. It's spelled with a V when it's
Knives.
plural.
Well, for a long time I had a problem like
Enunciating?
pronunciating like THs and whatnot, so it's
Oh,
not
yeah.
surprising.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
knives.
Knives.
Yeah.
Knives.
Knife.
Mind you, why is it spelled with a V when it's plural? Like,
Mm.
alright, continue.
Yep.
Cool.
Continue.
Got a bit off track there.
Yeah, so between the Rick Johnston murder in like August and the Kenneth Parker murder in October, there are another 2 unidentified victims.
Yep.
Who we really don't know who they were. So yeah, that's about all I have to say about that.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but on October 24th, Gacy abducted 2 teenagers, Kenneth Park and Michael Marina.
At the same time?
Yep, because they were friends. So they were picked up outside a restaurant in Chicago. And then 19-year-old William Bundy disappeared on October 26th.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
Maybe this is a chain of events.
Yeah.
No, okay.
He killed somebody related to Ted Bundy, and Ted Bundy just went off his chops.
I mean, Bundy was before this, but...
No.
Look, I knew you guys were going
Coincidence,
I
think
knew you guys
not.
were going to pick up on the Bundy. And
Of
like,
course we were going
there is
to.
absolutely no relation, I promise you.
I don't
Imagine
believe
that kid though, like, because you said this was after, right? So, like, imagine he goes to school and they're like, "You're related to a murder album," and he's like, "I literally don't even know who that is."
you. Yeah, that wouldn't be good.
I mean, it's far more concerning that there was a sitcom in the 90s with the like lead character's family name being Bundy.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Which one was that?
That's a bit dodgy.
Oh god, I'm blanking now. Married with Children?
Married with Children.
Oh.
I've
It was like a
never-
really
I've never
really
heard of
famous
that.
one.
I've
hang on.
I've never watched it, but I've heard it. But
Sounds dumb.
well, it's a sitcom. Do you watch sitcoms besides Friends?
Yes.
I haven't watched Friends
Yes.
because I don't find Friends
Sitcoms
to be-
entertaining?
Not necessarily sitcoms. Like some of them are alright. some of
Name
them
one
aren't.
sitcom that you've watched.
Okay, yes.
Big Bang Theory.
Yes,
yeah, I'd expect
Married-
you to say that.
I haven't watched the latest season.
Married with Children, starring Ed O'Neill as Al Bundy and what's her name? Katie Sagal as Peg Bundy. Yeah.
Katie
Does
Sagal.
Brooklyn
Peg.
Nine-Nine count as a
And-
Wasn't
sitcom?
Ted Bundy's wife or something like Peggy or something?
No.
Peggy.
Carol Ann Boone was his wife.
Ah,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah. Does Brooklyn Nine-Nine
Peggy
count
is
as a sitcom?
Yeah.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Does it?
Yes.
Really?
I would say it's a sitcom, yeah, because it's a situation comedy. That's what it's short for.
Hmm.
So the characters get themselves into situations, and that's where the comedy comes from. That's
I
why it's
see.
called a sitcom.
Okay.
yeah.
I never knew that.
Really?
Like, I knew that com was comedy, but I didn't know what the set was actually for.
Yeah. Situation.
Down.
Sit down and enjoy the comedy. Right, murders. Right, next.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, so picked up the 2 friends. What happened? They died, obviously. but, like-
Married with Children ran from 1987 to 1997. Yes.
Oh, nice.
Just so you're aware. And yes, obviously Ted Bundy was active during the late 60s, early 70s.
Yeah.
Yes. That's right. I remember.
Still a bit close for comfort, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a
a touch.
weird name to.
Maybe it was a publicity stunt.
I don't know. I mean, I wasn't like I was born like right before the show ended, so I don't know.
Mm.
Ed O'Neill, you might recognise as Jay from Modern Family, the grandfather.
Ah.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
Yes. I quite
Anyway,
like him actually.
The
He's
kids.
cool.
What happened to the kids?
Right. They died. Spoiler.
Whoa.
Whoa. Shock.
Now that was a plot twist.
Okay. Yeah. So. Yeah. So William Bundy. He died of suffocation.
Yep.
And he disappeared after telling his family that he was going to a party. And then
the
you know,
full.
never returned home.
Don't drink, kids.
And he was buried beneath the master bedroom.
Oh shit! I'm not
so-
a kid. Checkmate.
So all of these bodies are being buried in the crawl space under Gacy's house.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there was what 26 of them were buried
Like-
under the house. Yeah. Something like that.
Not gonna lie, the footprint of a house isn't like massive. Well, I mean it is, but like
A body ain't that big. Like it is, but it ain't. And they're also mostly kids. They might not be fully developed.
Yeah,
I mean,
so you think-
there is
think about-
puberty, so
Think about your standard like one-story house, right? And then think about people, like average. Let's say a 6-foot person, like laying down in a room of that house. Like, how many people could you fit laying down in a standard single-story house?
A lot.
right?
I mean, just looking
Easily
at
26 people.
yeah, I guess also if you have them like.
And also
right
they're mostly
next to each other,
teenagers,
'cause
they-
I'm looking at like Connell's room. You
And-
can probably fit like 5 across this way, and probably like 2 that
Yeah,
way.
and some of them were buried like on top of others.
Yeah.
You've
So
spoken too much.
should we be concerned?
And I'm like, oh,
No,
you know the rough
no,
estimate.
for-
There does happen to be a crawl space up there, by the way.
I mean, there's a little crawl space in the attic, but there is not a crawl space underneath this house. Promise.
There are no bodies underneath the house.
Actually, yeah, we
Just
don't
had
have a
to
crawl
clarify.
space under our house either.
You didn't clarify there were no bodies in the attic crawl space. No, there are
You
no,
weren't supposed to bring that up.
there are no bodies in this house. I promise.
He's like, Lee.
there are living bodies in this house.
Yes.
There are no dead bodies in this house.
Mm,
All right, so
not yet.
William Bundy is dead, and then in December of '76, 17-year-old Gregory Godzik, he's another PDM employee.
Gregory.
He disappears. His girlfriend last saw him outside her house after he'd driven her home after a date. And he had only worked for PDM for 3 weeks before he disappeared.
Jesus.
Ah.
Yeah. And prior to his disappearance, he told his family that Gacy had him dig trenches for some kind of drain tiles in his crawl space. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry?
Yeah.
Drain tiles.
So he was like, make sure you stick to this plan exactly. Do not go off the plan. 'cause
Pretty
Kindred-
much. Yeah, and you'll see later on, Gacy, there's a few of his employees that Gacy gets to dig trenches in the crawl space.
He's very confident they're not going to mess up.
Yeah, well, and he's also very insistent with them that they only dig where he's instructed them to, and that they not deviate from that.
Well, yeah, can you imagine
until they
going like
do, they're
2
like,
feet
"Ugh."
too far and you're like, that's a hand.
Yeah. Yeah, well, we will get to what the investigators found when they.
But-
Yeah. It's rough. But
Harsh.
first we have to get through the boy murder.
Could you imagine could you imagine digging those trenches and then figuring out you're going to be putting them? Like, right
Yeah.
before you're about to die, you're like,
Yeah.
ah.
That's.
I've dug my own grave. Ironic.
That's got to be rough.
Oh,
That's,
man.
ugh.
Like, obviously, you wouldn't have that much time to think about it, but, like, the last thing going through your head is, like, I'm about to be put in the hole I dug.
Oh, so okay, you guys are gonna hate this next part because
I'm ready.
they found his car abandoned later, and his parents and older sister actually contacted Gacy about his disappearance, and Gacy claimed that he had run away from home, and that he had previously told Gacy that he wanted to run away. Right. Obviously, this is all a lie.
Yeah, interesting
You know?
take not to just be like, oh, I have no idea, instead of...
yeah.
Yeah. This is the part you're gonna hate. Gacy also claimed that Godzik had left an answering machine message, like shortly before he disappeared. And when his parents asked if he could play the message back, Gacy said that he erased it. So there was no message, but he said there was, and that he had erased it.
Why? Did he... What?
Because he's trying to cover his tracks.
But
I feel like if you're trying to cover your tracks, you should be like, didn't see him.
Pretty much, yeah.
But he's like,
just fucking with them.
yeah, he's actively getting himself involved by being like, oh yeah.
Yeah, well, you think
It's like,
think
how
about,
close can I get without getting caught?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
think about how many murders he's got away with at this point. Like he's absolutely sure that he can get away with this.
That's the thing. It's like, it's not like one person's come to him and been like, hey, have you seen my son or whatever. Like, multiple people have come to him being like, my son.
You
Also,
think that'd be a bit...
if, like, say, because there's obviously other people working at this company. How has nobody been like, we're kind of going through staff pretty quickly?
I mean, okay, look,
Well,
it's the mid '70s, right? It was a really transient time. Like, if you look at how many, drifters and drifter murders and drifter murderers and hitchhiker killings, and all that, and like the amount of people who just disappeared or uprooted their lives to go somewhere else during this time, like it's super easy to disappear, to go off the grid, to get away with murder, because people just disappear.
Yeah.
It's not unusual for this time. Like, it seems really weird to us, like in this day and age. Everyone has cell phones on them. You've got this camera, communication device, tracking, like GPS device in your pocket at all times, and everyone has one.
Yeah.
And you've got social media and video surveillance and all this kind of stuff that makes it really hard to go somewhere and not have people not know where you are. So it seems weird to us, but back then it was super easy to disappear.
I can imagine. Like, when was the internet invented?
The internet,
Like 80 something, 90 something?
yeah. The internet has been around
Like 87.
I
since.
think the internet's actually been around for a bit longer than that. I
Well,
think.
it started
it was
as
late 80s.
It started as a like network of military computers.
Yeah.
Right. Well, how about public
So
access?
1960s was when it was invented.
Okay.
but-
What about public access then?
Yeah, that would have been probably late 80s, early 90s.
Yeah, so that's
93.
93.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you think about it, people before that, obviously, now that we have the internet, we don't really spend as much time doing other extracurricular hobbies or whatever you want. I don't know. I don't think extracurricular was the right word there, but like back then, obviously, you'd be like, I'm done with my job.
Yeah.
What do I do now?
Yeah.
Go out for a drink. Go for a.
Well, I was just thinking, 93. That's only 4 years before you were born.
Yeah.
Like,
That's whack.
yeah, our parents were our age and had zero Wi-Fi.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah.
Sucks to be them.
Yeah, they were our age before they got Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
Well, that's not even Wi-Fi. That's just the internet.
Explains how they have so many skills that we don't.
Yeah. But yeah, that's not even Wi-Fi. That's just the internet. So
I
that's
mean-
the dial-up. Beep, boop, beep, boop,
look, even I remember like actually going to the library
oh
in
yeah,
town
Yeah.
to get books for school
School,
assignments. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
I remember
Oh.
doing it.
well, because that.
Oh,
Cause,
really?
Well, because
I don't think I had to do that.
I mean, this was like very early high school. I was maybe like 12, 13. And so we're talking, what, 2009, 2010? Because some of my older teachers didn't really want us using the internet for research.
Right.
Especially
Dude, I still remember smacking the TV when the signal dropped. I'm that old.
yeah. But yeah, like using Wikipedia for research for a project was like the biggest faux pas you could
Yeah.
make.
Yeah.
In,
See,
like, in
I
class.
think I hit
Yeah.
that sweet spot where we were just getting there, like where the teachers were like, we had the MacBooks like in the IT lab and everything. We had the library and we'd go for research. We had tablets at that point as well.
Okay.
And they'd be like, Wikipedia is alright, but we'd suggest for you to like source from other areas.
Yeah.
But obviously the sources in the Wikipedia article are obviously good sources. So
Oh yeah. My go-to method for assignment research was just get all the information from Wikipedia and then go to the sources section and check check out the relevant sources. Like actually go to them and make sure that they're legit and that the information's actually there, and then cite those in the bibliography.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
such a good method.
yeah, that's
You
it.
know,
Yeah.
I definitely hit the sweet spot where the internet was
Yep.
big.
I would
by
very
that time.
quickly, like, talking about school, I would like to get something off my chest. In year 13, I think it was, I took, year 12, I took an IT class. I took IT as an elective, all right?
Yeah.
The teacher who taught the IT class was fucking incompetent.
Oh.
It was not an IT class. It was a graphic design class on
yeah.
computers.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I actually wanted to learn how to use computers to, do actual computer stuff. but we were using like Photoshop and stuff.
That's literally yeah.
We did that in year 11 Photoshop
That's-
for IT.
That's
But
why I
it might
didn't
have been.
take.
It might have been year 11. Yeah.
If it
That's
was-
why I didn't take IT as an elective, because I took it all through. I think I took it in year 10, where you first pick like 3 sort of things,
Mm.
and after that I was like, no.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Forgot about this.
I went into year 11 or year 10 IT,
It was something like that, yeah.
expecting it to not be good. But I just wanted to see, you know.
Well, I still had hope back then. I was like I
Remember
I didn't
before
have
they
any
crushed
hope.
all your
I
hopes
went,
and dreams?
I went in as a skeptic, and I came out with, you know,
Facts.
just what I expected.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, I actually wanted to learn about computers, you
Yeah.
know, and yeah, it just killed it.
They're like,
Yeah,
yeah,
well, it
take
wasn't a good start
Digitech.
when we had Macs. They weren't exactly a good
Oh,
move
yeah.
for learning.
Yeah,
about
our
computers.
school just had Apple computers.
Yeah.
Like there
Yeah.
were no,
We
like,
had
Micro-
Windows, but they
Microsoft
were like,
PCs, Windows would be better for actually learning.
oh hell yeah.
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 Oh, see, we had Windows, but it was like real budget.
Or you got
man,
your
like-
Shad Linux.
You have a bit of
That'd be
like,
hell.
fluff on your knee and it's driving me nuts.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
I have
was-
actually seen that.
Uh,
Yeah.
It's like dog
Why
fur.
didn't you say I was brushing the dog? Because
Yeah.
some people
Shouldn't have brushed the dog.
don't
It
want
was
to do
just,
it.
it was just catching my eye and it was very, very distracting.
Yeah.
There was no reason for you to brush our dog.
He's so fluffy.
He is. That's why we gave up.
You're like,
is why she does
winter
it now.
coat, keep it.
Yeah, every time you come over, brush our dog, thanks.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, nice.
all good. I don't brush mine, so.
All right.
I'll take it, honestly.
So, back to the boy murder.
Mm. Yes, that
The
was
stuff
the
that
thing.
we all want to hear about.
Of course, of course.
Cool. So yeah, after Godzik disappeared on December 12th, 19-year-old John Sitch goes to Gacy's house on January 20th
Mhm.
of 1977. So this is the next year now. On the pretext of selling Gacy his Plymouth Satellite, which is a car. Okay, so
Okay,
yeah, so Gacy says to this guy, "Hey, I want to buy your car," and gets him to come over to his house with the car.
Actually, now, I'm sorry, I'm just clicking. What did he do with all the kids' cars?
I mean, a lot of them were picked up, either hitchhiking or from the bus terminal.
Yeah.
There were a
Right.
couple who they found their cars abandoned. Like,
Do you think a lot of people had cars back then?
Okay.
As many as now?
No,
yeah, what's his name?
definitely not. But
no.
like,
Godzik, they found his car abandoned.
I think this is the third one that had a car.
Hmm.
Second or third one that had a car. But like,
It's not that hard to get rid of a car, I would say.
I reckon I'd sell the parts.
There's a
off,
lot
but,
of
like,
shit
but-
you can like dump in random areas.
Yeah, true.
But
I
yeah,
reckon I'd try and sell the parts, but then at the same time, back then, because not a lot of people had cars, they'd probably be like, "Isn't this such and such's car?"
possibly. But a lot of his victims were actually like just passing through the town.
Mm.
Because yeah, like a lot of them were picked up from the bus terminal.
He probably
Or just
aimed for
hitchhike.
people who didn't look like they belonged, I reckon.
A little bit, but also going to the bus terminal, that pretty much guaranteed that he was going to find someone who wasn't from around there,
Yeah.
and who wasn't staying in town. you know?
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, just like super easy.
Don't do shit in your own backyard.
Pretty much. So Gacy says he wants to buy John Sitch's car, gets him to his house, strangles him in his spare bedroom. Gacy reckoned that Rossi was asleep in the house when this happened.
Really?
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah, and Gacy would later sell the Plymouth to Rossi for $300. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Can you say that again? I feel like I've missed something.
Bro.
I've missed something here.
Okay,
Wait,
so again, John Sitch,
yeah,
19 years old,
yeah,
lured to Gacy's house under
Yeah.
the pretext of Gacy buying his car.
yeah.
Right. Strangles Sitch in the spare bedroom, and then sells his car to Rossi for $300. Rossi's the guy who's living with him at that time.
Question.
Yes,
So this kid came to sell his car.
he did.
So obviously he brought the car because he had to get there in
Yes.
the car. What was his expectation to leave after that? He just walked
Yeah.
from his house?
Yeah, probably.
Wasn't he a bit out? Gacy was?
Hey?
I thought he was a little bit more country-ish, although he was outside, what was it, Chicago?
You've taken a bus.
Or was it Detroit?
Yeah, no,
You're taking a bus, but
no,
like,
it was Chicago.
So it was in that like sub city of Chicago.
Yeah, he was. Gacy lived in Norwich, I think the town was
For
called.
some reason, I thought he was like country-esque, sort of. I don't know why.
I think he kind of is, but like
He's in a small sub town to.
by like Topek,
Chicago.
like it's not quite country, but like you still
No,
have like farmland.
no, definitely not. No,
Full on town. Or
Norwich,
full-on city.
Norwich at this point was it had a population of around 15,000.
Okay.
So we're talking about.
And he was in a suburb. then.
Yeah. So
okay. For some reason, I thought he was a bit out with his
Yeah,
house.
same. I thought
I
he had
just-
like a long drive.
I just had that assumption. Yeah.
Yeah.
no.
Wait, so is this like fully suburban area?
Yeah. So imagine.
Okay.
Imagine.
Well, now I'm even more confused. How do you get away with that many murders
Now
when
I've
you've
got a
got
different
neighbors?
image in my mind.
So
Yeah.
imagine if Chicago is like. If Chicago's like Wellington, we're talking about like Upper Hutt kind of thing, maybe. You know, so it's like
Okay,
it's like
yeah.
a satellite town. It's within the Chicago metropolitan area,
Yeah.
but it's not Chicago proper.
Okay, I get you.
Yeah.
I know, but I'm still kind of like because like before I was imagining, kind of like a long driveway sort of farm property.
Yeah,
No.
that's what I was thinking for some reason.
How do you get away with that many murders when you have neighbors?
Good soundproofing.
skills?
Also, strangle him in the spare bedroom. Was Rossi not living there?
He was asleep, didn't you say, or assumed to be
Oh,
asleep?
no. Gacy believed that Rossi was asleep in the bedroom the following morning. Yeah, so he killed Sitch during the day, and then the following morning, presumably Rossi was sleeping in the spare bedroom that night, and then Gacy reckons that he was still there in the morning, asleep. Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah.
So he was asleep while someone died.
He slept in the bedroom after Sitch was
Oh
killed,
yeah,
in the bedroom.
okay, okay,
Yeah.
makes sense. Okay,
Yeah,
there we go.
There's the timeline for that.
Yeah.
Not great.
I was like, how do you like silently kill someone whilst like you got to be a deep sleeper to like sleep through someone dying?
Yeah. Okay,
Maybe not.
So moving on from Sitch, who will show up. Well, he will be related to something that happens.
Oh, I
a bit
was like,
later
how
on.
is he going to show up? He's dead.
No. His car will show up.
Oh.
So
I see.
yeah, I'm just gonna foreshadow that now because you probably had questions about the car.
Bro, you
And-
trying to break my cable?
Yeah.
Oh my
Oh,
god,
actually, technically his cable.
These
but yeah.
cables are giving me just
Does it have to be that
anxiety,
close to
man.
you? Like, Jesus Christ.
It's just how I'm sitting.
Just give it a little bit of slack, okay?
It's got slack.
Oh my god.
Yeah, because I moved it.
So,
Cut me some slack, bro.
Sitch was killed on January 20th. Between December of the previous year and March of 1977, there was another unidentified victim, an adult male, and he was buried in the crawl space beneath the body of John Prestige.
Wait, beneath.
Yes. So Prestige was killed after him, and then buried on top of him. This unidentified
okay.
victim.
Didn't even give him a different space. Just
Oh, it's because you said beneath. I'm like, so he moved a body
Well,
to
I
put
was
someone else
getting to
under.
the date. I was
Oh,
getting to
okay,
the date.
okay.
So
okay.
20-year-old
the
John.
dates are melding together
Oh my
for me.
God.
I'll be honest.
Yeah. I'm like, is it still 1976?
It is
I
77.
don't remember the year.
77. Oh, there you
We're
go.
at 77
I didn't
at this
remember
point.
the year. I just
Yes.
used
So
70s.
so John Prestige, 20 years old from Michigan. He disappeared on March 15th. And shortly before he disappeared, he mentioned to, I'm assuming, friends or family, that he had obtained work with a local contractor. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think he elaborated on that, but yeah. So
That's not that suspicious, but like
a little bit. I mean, you'd think that might,
ask for the company name or whatever. So
well, you'd think that would give them evidence that maybe this contractor he's mentioned is involved in his disappearance. Ugh.
yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
think
that'd be
so.
the first place you'd go. They'd be like, where did you see him last? Oh, he was going to work.
Yeah, you'd think so. But again,
They're like, nah, I haven't seen
the
him.
difficulty that they have with catching serial killers back then is because, I've mentioned this before, police departments did not share information between
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it made it incredibly difficult, especially when these guys
They're like,
move
keep
around.
your eyes on
It's
your own
been,
prize,
it's
man.
been mainly in like the same area.
Oh yeah,
though, so
Gacy
you'd think...
killed all of these people. Gacy killed them in the same house. Like just like this. That's
So you
this
think
house that he
that'd be
lived in.
pretty onto the information, seeing as he's not moving around like Ted Bundy was.
You'd think so, but I don't know. Like again, he's just killing drifters and hitchhikers and people. Like, you know, the people
Yeah.
who won't be missed.
I mean, he had the one conviction back in what is it, Waterloo or whatever.
Yeah, for battery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like, that's not too serious, is it?
No,
No.
well, remember his records were sealed not long after he was released,
Right. Yeah,
so
forgot about
they
that.
wouldn't show up in like, you know, any kind of
Court trials or whatever.
background check or anything that he did.
But even though they're sealed, can the police still not see them?
If they were looking for them, the police could see it. Yeah,
Yeah, because that's what I
And-
thought.
we'll get to that.
Ah, okay. Every time, we'll get to that.
Oh yeah, because you guys are actually like
We-
picking
we-
up on a lot of stuff. That
We think ahead.
does-
Yeah, we detectives.
Surprisingly,
Yeah.
we have some brain cells.
It's just those
to
two
know.
brain cells just like
Yeah.
firing with each other. So we have-
Synchronizing,
Yeah.
maximum
yeah,
power.
you got your two brain cells just kind of like knocking around in your heads, and every now and then they
They collide and a thought
and-
happens.
Yeah, yeah, magic happens.
They collide and more energy is produced than they should ever.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's like, what year are we in now?
Yeah. So after Prestige, around spring or early summer, there was another unidentified youth. So presumably a teenager.
You.
They were killed and buried in the crawl space.
No.
Yeah. Well,
They
they don't.
couldn't have been.
They don't know exactly when that happened.
Not
But
even in the attic.
no, all of this was in the crawl space, man. But on
Love me a
July
crawl
5th,
space.
July 5th, Matthew Bowman, 19 years old from Crystal Lake, he is killed.
Like,
His mother last saw him at a suburban train station. The next month, Mr. Rossi was arrested for stealing gasoline while driving John Sitch's car.
oh,
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah,
So how do you steal gasoline just from the gas station? Just
yeah.
like,
You pump your gas and then drive away without paying. Yeah.
Actually, yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
Because back then they
I
didn't
just
have
don't
locks.
think
Yeah.
it doesn't really register to me that people would do that because obviously you're gonna get caught.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like no matter what, you're gonna get caught.
Also, there's the fact that the BP in town where we are, the gas station, it like they mostly do prepay now. So you
Well,
actu-
yeah,
you
that's the
actually have
thing,
to
like-
pay for your gas first.
Especially at like Gull things
Oh,
like that.
I always prepay anyway. So.
Yeah. But especially
Yeah.
at Gull things like that. Like if you lift it up, it just still doesn't activate until you've paid.
I don't like messing with prepay the machines. They always fuck
How do you
over
pay
some
when
reason.
you like? Do you always put in like a set amount then?
No, I walk in. Yeah, no, I walk in. I'll be like, can I get $40 on pump?
That just
5
seems so
of
annoying
91.
to me.
It's not. It's so fast.
See, the reason why I prepay is because I always just fill. Like I
Right.
don't know how much my car do. I just want it full.
Just learn. Lol.
I just put in like $60 when I get to a quarter tank. That
Fair
does me.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gets me to almost full.
Yeah.
Pretty good. So, Rossi was arrested for stealing gasoline, and the station attendant took down the license plate, and gave it to police, and they traced the guy to Gacy's house.
Ah.
Yeah. And
How?
Hey.
How?
They just found it.
I'm
They
ass-
found the car.
I'm assuming.
Oh,
they-
because no, I was about to say, how did they trace it? Because it would still be in that other guy's name.
I thought Gacy had somehow gained ownership when his name had been transferred to ownership of the car. But no.
he must have like done the paperwork with Rossi and transferred it to his name.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
But that's the thing. How can you transfer the paperwork if the other guy is dead to sell the car?
Forge his
Maybe
signature. I don't know.
or
I
maybe
guess so.
he transferred it before he killed him.
Yeah, give me the car. then I'll kill you.
Actually, yeah, probably.
Yeah.
That's probably what happened. I don't
Yeah.
actually have information on that, but yeah, I mean,
That's my assumption.
either way, the cops traced the car back to Gacy's house.
Yep.
Yep.
Right. And when they questioned him, he told them that Sitch had sold the car to him back in February, saying that he needed money to leave town.
Oh.
Right. And they checked the car's rego and confirmed that yep, this did belong to Sitch once upon a time. And the cops didn't pursue this. Like they bought the going out of town story. They did inform Sitch's mother that he had sold the car to Gacy.
And his
Right.
mum wasn't like, well, my son's dead now, so...
Well, no.
Well, she doesn't know if she's
He's just
a
disappeared.
presumed missing.
And
at
now
this point.
and Gacy's told them now that he's left town. So that's like, what they're working on.
Hmm.
Yeah.
They assume he's left town currently.
police were so stupid back then too. They were just like, oh, that's what you're saying? I'll take your word
really,
for it.
but yeah.
I mean, yes, but no. Like,
Okay, not stupid, but like
he's
naive.
He's the only lead they have,
Yeah.
and he said they've left town.
But that's
so
the
it's
thing,
like, do
like-
they pursue him?
They didn't mark down all these sorts of things. Because, like, what we're saying, like, 4 people have questioned Gacy about their sons, and every single time he's like, they left town.
Yeah, but it's possible there's other people working on those cases, and they don't have access to
Yeah,
that
I guess so.
information.
Yeah,
Possibly,
true.
so they haven't made like the cross correlation.
Could you imagine when
these
they did catch Gacy,
cases.
and then they were like, oh, shit.
we fucked up?
Yeah. Like, because
Yeah.
suddenly all that information would come together, and they're like, ah.
Yikes!
Yeah. So we have this unidentified youth and Rossi's arrest. So, the next victim is. What, have I missed one? No, Matthew Bowman. We went over Matthew Bowman. That's right. So after the arrest, on September 15th, Gacy killed 18-year-old Robert Gilroy, who was the son of a Chicago
Robert.
police sergeant.
I was about to say. I thought you were about to say he killed 18 people in one day. I'm like, no way, no way.
Legend.
Yeah. So
Legend.
So-
Are you sure about that?
oh my god, this one is a bit weird, because there is a theory. Okay.
A
that,
game
that
theory.
Thanks for watching.
I'm gonna hit you.
No, there's a theory that we've not covered yet, that Gacy actually had accomplices, and this is
Ooh.
the murder that kind of like points towards that, because they did later find Gilroy's body in the crawl space, but Gacy was actually out of town, like when he disappeared. So Gilroy was last seen on September 15th. He actually lived like only about 4 blocks from Gacy's house.
Right.
So he was kind of close. And he was buried in the crawl space, but Gacy was out of town. He was in Pittsburgh from September 12th to September 16th. So he returned
with like eyewitness or just through.
No, there are like airline records of his flight. And
Unless somebody got on his.
Yeah, I
flight.
was like, yeah, but was he on it?
well, yeah, because he went there to supervise a remodeling project. Because remember, he runs a contracting
That's
business,
true.
so he's
Okay.
out of town
So, yeah,
supervising this project.
Getting there, they would have
So-
had eyewitness to him being there.
Yeah,
so
people on the project would have seen him there.
Rossi is the accomplice.
Honestly,
He's the most suspicious person.
yeah,
because
he's
he
lived there
has
until.
lived there.
Could you imagine
for a
when the
bit.
police go, "Are you aware that there's like 30 bodies under this house?" And you're like, "What?" like,
And as soon as Gacy gets done, he's like, "I better throw him under the bus so I don't get caught."
yeah.
I mean, Rossi was never charged with anything. I don't think they ever suspected him as a suspect.
Exactly.
But suspected him as a suspect. There.
Yeah.
Interesting choice of words. But I mean, I wouldn't rule it out completely because it is like pretty convenient for him. But,
Like,
we
yeah,
just don't
how-
know.
He's missed a lot of stuff as well.
That's the thing,
You
like,
think he would have noticed?
30 people, and I'm gonna say 20 because there was a few that like before we moved in. So like 20 people have come and gone into that house, and you haven't seen a single one of them.
And he's only decided to speak up. I'm assuming by the time Gacy is like fully under the bus.
Yeah, well, we'll see that when we get to the
He's
investigation.
like, oh,
But,
whoa,
I mean, look,
whack.
Weird.
Gilroy disappears the day before Gacy returns to Chicago. It's entirely possible that he had just gone off somewhere, on his own without telling anyone, and then Gacy picked him up after he got back.
Yeah.
Right,
possible.
It's a
Yeah.
possibility. Like this doesn't necessarily point towards there being an accomplice.
But it's more interesting.
it certainly is a better story, I suppose. Yeah,
Still think it's
Okay.
Rossi.
yeah. Gilroy is murdered, and then about 10 days after that, he kills 19-year-old John Mowery, that's Mowery, Mowery,
Okay.
or Mowery, whichever way you want to.
Sounds
say
like
that.
you're saying moldy.
It sounds like Maori, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why.
Maori.
That is why I specified the
Yes,
spelling.
I realized.
Yeah, and this guy was a
Maori.
former Marine, so
Oh.
Oh.
at 19, former Marine.
Oh.
So that must have been
I didn't think
dishonorary
about that.
discharge.
I mean, it's possible he joined up at 17 and did his
Yeah, but 2
training,
years?
his training maybe and like other stuff.
You know what? I'm going to actually look that up.
2 years of service.
Well, yeah, because
US
basic training doesn't take much.
Yeah, I know, but like,
US Marines
Although,
service.
don't you usually need like a compulsory amount of service after you enlist?
yeah. And I thought that was minimum 3 years.
Okay,
anyway.
so
I think it's usually 2.
as of 2021, the minimum active duty enlistment periods offered by the Air Force, Coast Guard, and Marine Corps are 4 years.
As of 2021.
Yeah.
Go back.
So do you
Well,
want to
there's-
go back
like-
like 30 years?
When was the Vietnam War?
Vietnam was
Like
early to mid 60s.
How long is this
okay,
going to
I
take
was
you to Google?
gonna say.
It's like mid 60s because Korea was
I thought it was later for some
Korea
reason.
was the 50s, and then
It
of
was
course
50s.
World War II ended
Vietnam.
back in 45.
So there's not really anything
Right, you should
except
have
the
this on
Cold
search
War
real quick.
further up there.
Actually, not. I'm going to
Was the
look
Cold
that
War
up
the 80s?
in a second.
I don't remember. Because the Soviets disbanded in what 97? No, can't be 93.
Was that?
The Soviets. Like 93.
Soviet Union
97?
dissolved
Why am I
in.
thinking those 2 dates?
I mean,
years.
97 sounds right.
Yeah, it sounds familiar.
91, 1991.
91.
Yeah,
Okay.
1922 to 1991.
It's mental to think that was like not that long ago.
You wanna
Yeah.
you wanna know something even more insane?
Yep.
The entire period of history from Jesus to World War One was covered by 2 empires: the Roman Empire and
Right.
the Ottoman Empire.
I was gonna say the Byzantine, but no. Is the Byzantine technically the Ottoman Empire?
No, the Byzantines came before the Ottomans.
They're like the same though, pretty much. Let's
This
be
is-
honest.
This has just become a history podcast now.
They're the same kind of region.
So, yeah, the Ottoman Empire began in 1299 and was dissolved in 1922. And
Shit.
the Roman
See, I knew about the Ottomans being dissolved that close.
and the Roman Empire dissolved in 1453 and
Damn.
began in 27 BC. See,
And where's the Byzantine?
uh,
History stuff?
the entire span of time between Jesus and World War One was covered by 2 empires.
Hmm.
Yeah, the Roman Empire and the Ottoman Empire.
Yes.
Yeah.
What relevance is that to what we're talking about?
Started talking about the collapse of the Soviets after we were talking about when the Vietnam War occurred. That's when you left the room.
Yeah, but what was the Vietnam War bit about anyway?
Let's
Because I was just wondering how close it was because enlistment laws may have been different
let's
because of Vietnam.
let's work our way
But,
backwards.
yeah.
So the Roman Empire was founded in 27 BC and dissolved in 1453.
Is this relevant?
A little bit.
Shut up.
And the Ottoman Empire was founded in 1299 and dissolved in 1922.
Okay.
Right.
So that's like
Okay.
almost 2,000 years of history.
Yeah, that's whack.
2 empires. That's insane.
Some strong empires.
Relevance.
The Soviet Union was founded in 1922 and dissolved in 1991.
1990.
that's where we got to. Yeah, and then the
Whack to think about.
Vietnam.
Only like,
War.
what, 30 years ago, the Soviet Union disbanded?
Oh, Jesus. Okay, the Vietnam War ran from 1955 to 1975.
Okay. Yeah,
so this is just after the Vietnam
that's
War.
why I thought enlistment laws might have been
Yeah.
different or quite intensive then, I'm assuming maybe. No.
Yeah, possibly.
Okay.
We don't know for sure.
Moving on.
Cool. Yeah, we're about an hour. About an hour in.
Damn,
so
that went past fast. I looked back when I grabbed my second drink. It was like 20 minutes.
a little bit, yeah. Cool. So Robert Gilroy, John Maori, and now we come to October 17th, the disappearance of 21-year-old Russell Nelson.
Is that his oldest victim?
No, he's got
Close to
adult,
it.
isn't he?
He's ordered.
Which I guess 21
He's
is an
murdered. At least 2 unidentified adult males. So
Okay.
possibly
I would
older.
assume they're near those ages, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Well, I guess
Early
you
to
wouldn't really.
mid-20s.
Yeah, you wouldn't really want someone older than that 'cause they'd
Young
be able to
adult.
Yeah,
overpower you
yeah.
and.
yeah. Also, this is like his thing, you know.
Yeah.
Thang.
Yeah. So Nelson was last seen outside of a Chicago bar.
Wait, no, thang, like a chicken wing.
and he was apparently looking for contracting work. What are you? I'm just gonna ignore whatever you're doing.
Cool.
Please
then, less than a month later, he murders 16-year-old Robert Winch. He's buried in the crawl space. November 18th, Tommy Bowling, 20-year-old father of one. He disappears after leaving a Chicago bar. And about 3 weeks after that, a 19-year-old Marine named David Tolsma disappears on December 9th. He was supposed to be attending a rock concert in Hammond, Illinois. Yes,
Question.
Hammond, Illinois. Yes.
John Wayne Gacy, right? He's supposed to be this big killer clown. Was he a clown in any of these murders?
No, he just did
it's-
clowning on the side.
Yeah.
Like that was like a side thing that he did, like a hobby.
Then why is he like...
To increase his infamy.
It's like something that the press latched onto, because he was like entertaining kids and all that kind of stuff, like while these
Yeah.
murders were happening. Yeah.
So the clowning...
It's just an infamy thing.
Also, the
really.
clown pictures are creepy as fuck. You know.
True. Very true. But like, yeah, so that was just a side thing. That wasn't like his thing as a...
Yeah. Yeah. The clown thing really has nothing to do with the murders. It's just really interesting that he was
They're
also
like,
doing it.
the most famous killer clown wasn't a clown
Yeah.
during the murders.
Clickbait.
I mean, look, he was a killer and also a clown.
Yeah.
A killer clown.
It's like all those people that are like, my boyfriend. And it's like, no.
That's right. No,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah.
I see you. I see you, friggin' what the press. I see you. And you're clickbait. They were clickbaiting before clickbait was a thing.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, they have the origin
jeez.
of clickbait.
Yeah.
Okay, so this next one you're gonna find interesting. So
I'm just sad now. Like it's got nothing to do with the murders. Like
I
he's
thought
the
you
most
realized
famous-
by the first murder. Honestly, there was obviously no correlation.
No, I thought there was going to be. I thought he would really just lay into the clown thing and be like, you know what, this
That
is
would
who I
be a
wanna
bad
be.
move by him, and he's obviously not that dumb.
Clearly, but anyway, continue.
all right, so December 30th, the final murder of 1977.
That's my friend's birthday, not 1977, but
Nice.
Coincidence, I think.
19-year-old Robert Donnelly. He's abducted from a bus stop in Chicago at
Of
gunpoint.
course. Oh,
oh, we've got weapons now.
Yeah, so I mean, possibly the other murders used them, but we don't know. This one though, we absolutely do know because of something that you will hear in a second. Gacy took him to his house. He raped, tortured him, dunked his head in the bathtub repeatedly until he passed out.
of course.
Taunted him, and after a few hours, he drove him to his workplace, let him go, and told him, if you complain to police, they won't believe you.
Let him go.
Remember when I said he wasn't dumb a second ago?
As you can probably guess, Donnelly reported him. He reported the assault to the police. And
Finally, a smart person.
Yeah.
Yes,
Like,
and
Jesus Christ.
Gacy was questioned on January 6th.
Let him go. Let him go at his workplace.
Yep. So,
Because that's the thing, like, he
Yeah.
probably didn't know who Gacy was, so he could have let him go in, like, a random field or whatever. That would have been fine. Let him go at his place of work. Been like, hey, I don't know anything about this guy, but I know he dropped me there.
no, I think he let him go at Donnelly's workplace. I think.
Oh,
Yeah, not
okay.
his own.
I thought it was his own
I don't know.
workplace, and I was
I
like,
don't know why he did this.
I would assume it's the kid's workplace or whatever.
Okay. So
how old was he again?
he was 19.
I just called a 19-year-old
Yes.
a kid.
So when the police questioned Gacy,
Yeah.
I mean, you're older.
Yeah. I
Gacy.
said I said something to like mum, and I was like, "He's a nice kid," and my mum just cracked up because I think I was referring to someone who was like 19 or 20 or whatever, and I'm like, "He's a nice kid," and my mum just started laughing. She was like, "Oh, soz is a
Yikes.
wise old lady." And I was like, oh, "Yeah, okay." Aging myself.
Aging.
Anyway,
Okay,
continue.
so yes, under questioning by the police, Gacy admitted that he had a slave sex relationship with Donnelly, right? But that everything was consensual, and that he'd promised Donnelly money but didn't pay him.
See, that collapses when he says, the victim says, it was not consensual.
Well, okay. So to get around that, Gacy is claiming that he owed Donnelly money but didn't pay him, right? So Donnelly has something that he would go to the police for. You know? Like, this is why he's doing it. That's what Gacy's claiming. And the police believed him and filed no charges. Yeah.
Remember when I said the police are dumb? The police are dumb.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, you got to remember, at this point, Gacy is a well-respected member of the community.
But he's just admitted to having a slave kink
Well,
with a man
Well, yeah,
in
but
the 70s.
yeah, the cops are going to turn a blind eye. Really? Like, I know it doesn't make
You'd
any
think
sense.
they'll look at this,
It's
be like,
ridiculous,
things
but-
aren't adding up.
Yeah, a little bit.
Maybe the cops were just too lazy. They were just like, ugh.
Yeah, they're like, honestly, it's been a long week.
Oh boy. So after that, on February 16th, the next month,
Honestly, smart though.
Yes.
Like, I'm just actually like clicking over to the smart, rather than just being like, I don't know what he's on about. Like that.
Yeah.
Smart.
yeah, you invent
was a good
you
fallback.
invent a story that has elements of the truth in it, and then
Yeah.
Bullshit your way out.
Remember, Gacy is also a psychopath. Like
Yeah.
he's able to make people believe what he's
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't he also go to
He's
uni?
very good at manipulating
did.
people.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So, 19-year-old William Kindred disappears on February 16th. He told his fiancée that he was going to spend the evening in a bar, and his fiancée actually knew Gacy. So yeah,
Oh dear.
but didn't know that Gacy had anything to do with his disappearance. And Kindred would be the final victim buried in the crawl space.
The final
Yeah.
A final victim.
If you like. So on March 21st,
Don't look at me like that.
26-year-old Jeffrey Rignall was lured into Gacy's car. Gacy chloroformed him, took him to his house, and
Good old chloroform.
restrained him in a pillory affixed to the ceiling. So that's like a you know the like classic
Exposed
medieval
beams or like-
what no the stocks that they had in like medieval, you've got your head and hands like in the
Oh,
the
yeah.
board with the holes in
yeah,
it, and they
yeah.
lock you in there. And
Oh,
then
yeah,
people
yeah,
throw
yeah,
rotten
yeah.
When you're
fruit
about
at you.
to get guillotined, yeah.
Yeah, so he's got a board
Actually.
like he's got what?
No, that doesn't count.
So I didn't hear anything of what you said.
Yeah.
So he's got a board with holes for the head and hands attached to his ceiling by ropes, and he's like got the guy
Oh.
suspended in that like this.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I'm doing it on video
Yeah.
so you can see. Yeah. So
once again, the roommate didn't take suspicion to the stocks in the middle of the room
I
hanging.
completely forgot there was a roommate.
no, Gacy
He's
at this
in on
point,
it.
He's asleep. He's asleep. No, he didn't know he was asleep.
at this point, Gacy is very good at what he does.
Oh my gosh. Jesus Christ.
I mean, Rossi's probably out at like parties and stuff, like bars.
Rossi's
Still.
taking a fat nap.
Rossi comes home, sees this guy hanging, he's like,
He's like, you've had a wild night,
Yeah.
my man.
I don't know. I'd imagine he probably has like a pretty
he just
you know,
walks up to the guy, pours some drink in his mouth.
He
Just
has
like,
a
hey.
I'd imagine Rossi has a pretty reliable schedule, you know?
Yeah.
Like, Gacy knows when he's going to be home and when he's going to be out, so he can do this stuff.
Yeah.
Comes home, he's like,
Yeah.
you're my dude.
So-
My man.
So, Rignall is tortured with lit candles, whips, chloroform, and then once he's done, Gacy drives him to Lincoln Park in Chicago and dumps him. He's unconscious, but he's alive.
Well,
Yeah. So, Rignall manages to stagger to his girlfriend's apartment, and
Fiancés? No, this is a different person.
yes, it's different.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
Yeah.
so girlfriend,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
fiance. The police were informed of this assault, but they didn't investigate it.
Why?
But
Why are they so bad at their jobs?
Wait,
Jesus
did he know it was
Christ.
Gacy, or
Yes.
did he not? Oh, okay.
yes, so he Rignall's memories were kind of hazy of that night because he was chloroformed repeatedly.
Yeah.
But he managed to remember Gacy's Oldsmobile, his car, the Kennedy
Right.
Expressway where he was abducted from, and like the particular side streets that they drove past, and they managed. He got a couple of friends together, and they staked out the exit of the expressway, like the most likely place that Gacy would have turned off.
Right.
And in April, they saw Gacy's car and followed him to 8213 West Summerdale. And after that,
Which is his house.
yes.
Yeah.
And from that, the police obtained an arrest warrant and arrested Gacy on July 15th.
Finally,
Yeah.
something.
Wait,
So-
but if they didn't investigate the charge, then what grounds did they have to arrest him?
I honestly don't know. I just know. I think he just went to the police and they were like, I mean, you're pretty sure that this is the guy who assaulted you. You know, sure, we'll arrest him, bring him in for questioning. Yeah. So at this point, Gacy's facing trial for battery against Rignall. Okay. What's that?
Okay.
So here's an like a nutso fact, right? So between the assault and the arrest, you remember Gacy is like really involved in politics at this point.
Yeah.
And you know he's well, okay, so remember back in 1975, he was appointed the director of Chicago's annual Polish Constitution Day parade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And he like did this every year between 75 and 78. Right. And through his work with this parade on May 6th, between the assault and the arrest, he met and was photographed with First Lady Rosalind Carter.
Ah.
Yeah. He got a photo with the president's wife.
Ah.
And this is this is particularly embarrassing for the Secret Service because in the photo you can see Gacy wearing a pin with a letter S on it, and that indicates that he is a person who has been given special clearance by the Secret Service. And that is the photo that we are going to use as the thumbnail. Because yeah.
Do you have this photo?
I do. Somewhere. Give me.
They should feel bad. They really should.
And that's the thing. It's not like it was after the assault. Between
Yes.
the assault and the arrest.
Yeah. Fucking hell.
Yep. Pretty much. It's kind of insane. Oh boy, where is this photo? There we are.
That's
Yep.
whack.
So there is John Wayne Gacy and Rosalind Carter, wife of then President Jimmy Carter.
Damn.
Yeah. And you can see that little circular pin on his lapel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the special clearance pin.
Mm.
Yeah. Right. That's nuts. That's nuts.
The
Okay.
secret... See, this isn't just the police now. This is the Secret Service.
Yeah, pretty much.
God.
So after this,
He gets arrested. They're like, oh.
yeah.
Whoops,
So
Butterfingers.
So also between the assault and arrest, in about mid-June, mid-June, 20-year-old Timothy O'Rourke is killed. And he disappears in mid-June. He left his apartment to buy cigarettes. Presumably he had roommates. And shortly before he disappeared, he had told his roommate that he'd been offered a job by a contractor on the northwest side of Chicago.
Ah, once again, the contractor.
Yeah. So there's a bunch of these guys who have connections to a contractor. Like, I don't know if they like.
There's multiple connections to Gacy, who is known as a contractor. So it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna draw the connections.
Yeah, this is where it
there,
gets.
you know,
Yeah,
like
that's like the super frustrating thing. Yeah, like
This is
looking
like
back
doing-
on it. Yeah.
This is like doing a dot to dot and not being able to count. Like,
Yeah.
it's all there.
yeah,
They're
pretty
just
much.
like, I can't see it.
Pretty much. Yeah.
I mean, in hindsight, it's easy, but back then, I can imagine it'd be quite difficult.
Yeah. So after this, he's arrested on July 15th, right? And he's facing trial for battery against Rignall, and he confesses to it.
So
right?
where was that other body buried? If it wasn't buried.
Oh
in-
right, sorry. Yeah, no, I completely missed that.
You already said there was none in the crawl space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
O'Rourke was the first known victim to be dumped in the Plain River from the I-55 bridge in Chicago.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's gone for a river now.
So-
Interesting.
Yes.
Yeah. Did he do that because he knew he was facing trial or whatever? Or?
No, just because he was out of room in the crawl space. Yeah, that's the only reason. Yeah, he started dumping bodies in the river.
Oh.
Yeah.
This makes a new building.
So yeah, he's arrested. He's facing trial for battery. He confesses, but claims that it was consensual. Okay, and the assistant state's attorney who's prosecuting the case, he decides not to prosecute. So
Did he come up with the same excuse though? Like, I just didn't pay them?
I don't
Because
know
then by the
exactly.
second one, I'd be like, yo, pay your slaves.
Pay your slave, man.
Yeah.
Where are we?
Could you imagine though, like standing trial, seeing the person that's just abused you, and they're like, was consensual, and you're just like, you son of a.
I don't
You
actually
mother-
know.
You
But yeah, all I know is
motherfuckers.
that the attorney decided not to prosecute the case. So Gacy went free once again.
Once again.
And after this, on November 4th, 19-year-old Frank Landingen is killed. And his body was found stripped naked in the Des Plaines River on November 12th. And then on November 24th, 20-year-old James Mazzara disappeared after Thanksgiving dinner with his family.
This is 78 now, isn't it?
We are in 78, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, he the day before Mazzara disappeared, he had said to his sister that he was working in the construction industry and, quote, doing all right. Yeah.
Not for long.
So, Gacy's murder empire all comes tumbling down with this final murder. Not Mazzara, but the murder that we will begin with next time in Gacy Part 4.
You would. Oh.
Why
Yeah, no.
would you forsake me?
You're a mean man.
So, yeah, that is pretty much all of the boy murder, bar one, which we will begin with next time.
How dare you slap
And is
us
that
with the
going to
ad
be
break?
the final episode?
Yes, because no matter how long it takes, we will get through the investigation and prosecution
Okay.
of John Wayne Gacy.
I'm okay with
Yes.
that.
Yes, this is going to be a 4-part series.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
You need to condense your research, man.
Hey, we got through a lot in this episode.
I mean,
We
Yeah,
really
and
did.
we
You were
messed around.
you were speed running those.
Hell yeah,
and we
hell yeah,
still
because I knew
like,
that you
took
wanted
so
to get
long.
through it.
Yeah.
Last time we messed around, like we didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
through shit.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, next time we will fast track our way through the end of Gacy's.
I would hope so.
Spree.
Jesus Christ.
Yes. All right, so that
Honestly, like, that was a fun episode. Well, I mean, it's kind of sad to say after all the murders and things like that, but, like,
You're
so was
fun.
yeah, it was an interesting episode. There was lots to, like, go through and things like that. Like,
yeah,
police back there, bro.
yeah,
Like,
yeah, pretty much.
it's not even, like, in the beginning, it was kind of like the sharing information thing was holding them back, but now it's just them being absolutely friggin' stupid.
Just
Like,
incompetent.
yeah.
Well, these
Decided
are.
not to prosecute. Why?
I mean, these are kind of like small town cops, you know. Like they don't. I'd imagine they don't really want to get involved in this kind of
But
stuff.
that's the thing. Why didn't they just prosecute him with something small, like battery or whatever? Like, just, you know, like community service or whatever.
Well-
just something small.
Well, again, he's a well-respected member of the community,
I
you know,
don't
and they don't
give
really
a
want
shit.
to. They don't really want to deal with prosecuting him.
know?
Like, there's really no evidence or reason to put him behind bars.
No evidence besides the 2 people who've just come to him being over a sex charge and the multiple people who are like, my son is missing. They said they were at a contracting business. Is that yours? Nah, not mine.
Look, I think at this point they
God.
just didn't really want to look into him
Yeah.
because like he's
They
been
knew.
he's-
100%
he's
they
been-
knew. And they were like, you know what? This seems just too big for
he's
us.
been
Like,
photographed with the president's wife. Like he is a
yeah, first of
pillar
all,
of the community.
how did he get close to the president? Like, how?
Background checks, man. Yeah, like
No, but like even so, like he's a contractor and a clown. Like, why were they like, yeah, we'll let him in?
he's involved in politics. He's the director of this like annual parade. He's it all just comes back to him being a well-respected member of the community, like involved in all of this community stuff, and
Yeah,
being a super successful businessman. Really, like
Seems to just
he
get a
really like
pass.
it's something that gets lost, like
He
in,
is
in
really
all the
smart, yeah.
murder talk. He is a really successful businessman.
Hmm.
Like his business is booming at this point.
Yeah.
Just yeah, like, and again, he's a psychopath. He's really good at like convincing people to do stuff and like
Yeah.
hiding his true nature.
Hmm.
He's just
He's also just
Yeah.
very straight up with his victims, so he's like, I'm about to
yeah,
kill you.
pretty much. Yeah.
Shit.
So yeah,
Bruh.
that was Gacy Part 3. Tune in hopefully next week for Part 4.
Yeah.
Where we
hopefully
will.
next week.
Hey?
Hopefully, I'm here next week.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yes, tune in
We
next
will
week
be.
for Gacy
Yeah.
Part 4. we will
The
cover.
final episode.
Yes, yes,
Jesus
yes.
Christ.
The final Gacy episode.
Fine, I would fucking hope so.
Even if it runs
Yes.
long, we will get through
Yes.
it all.
Yeah,
Yep.
Yes.
definitely. We do not want another episode.
Make sure to like this video. I wanted to have something to like comment down below, but like, what do you say to this episode to comment down below? What is there to say? Comment the police are
There really
incompetent.
Yeah. I don't know. Yes. All right. So we'll wrap it up there. It's getting very warm in this room.
Yes,
So,
as always.
Yep. Like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, I guess. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at ZeroFunctionPod. Jen, you're on YouTube at I am Genevieve.
I am
Conall,
indeed.
you're on Twitch at RigMonkey0.
Yep.
Yes, that's the one. And yeah, we will see you next week.
See you next week. And we also will have some clips going up because once this goes up, I'll be in charge of the clips.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah.
Good idea.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'll be in charge
I
of the
always
clips.
forget. Like, holy shit.
Yeah. There was some good clips in this one, so I'll be in charge of the clips. So those will be up whenever, and you'll see. If you subscribe and turn on the notification bell, you'll know when those goes up. Peace.
Nice.
Bye.
Don't murder boys.